Dear listeners, welcome to Out of Office. Hello there, dear listeners. Welcome to the LTS podcast. Today, it's me, Marcos, and with me, Alan. Say hello, Alan.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for having me back, Marquitos. Let's have a great convo.
Yes, sir. Amen to that, brother. So, hopefully later on we can have Mr. J, but right now it's just going to be you and I, okay? So, buckle in.
Absolutely, bro. Let's do it.
So earlier we were having a conversation about some stuff that we normally share in the squad chat. So want to go over some?
Yeah, definitely, bro. Name them off, bro.
Okay, for one, personally, I want to start with one of my passions about flight. I want to talk about the thing about some computer guys that were they're hobbyists, if you will. Their shtick, if you will, is that they have enough computer power to run simulations and do different historical events that involve airplanes, airships, and tanks. Their specialty mainly is airships and water fleets, boats, military stuff. So in this case, they were doing a situation about a thing that happened in the 2000s called the Sarajevo. How do they say it? Sarajevo. A combat landing. Oh my God, words are hard.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, I can't speak tonight. No, I can. But anyways, they were doing a simulation of them trying to do a military combat landing that all those military air flight people did during whatchamacallit in Afghanistan, Iraq, all those things, right? But these guys did a specific one about a German aircraft that was doing something with doing some humanitarian assistance in Bosnia. When did Bosnia happen? Sarajevo. There you go, the Sarajevo approach. And it was basically that this specific kind of German aircraft was made for during wartime to be able to respond during military operations. It was a big aircraft. Imagine a Hercules, right?
Right.
And the original story is that they were going to do some relief, and everyone in the EU were sending aircraft to giving supplies, all those things, to hospitals, to medical centers, not to support the combat, just to support the medical personnel and all those things that they were trying to keep people alive and fed in as medical personnel. And this Italian aircraft got shot down by aircraft anti-aircraft weaponry, and it got shot down. And it was literally 8 minutes before this German one. And this German was like, okay, what do we do? We don't have any countermeasures to do this. Okay, we're gonna go up high. We know the regular working, and they guessed. They did this. They have a recording of the original situation that they did. Okay, we're gonna go above the guns and above the missile range of these things. We're guessing on this, by the way, and we're gonna basically dive straight down. I'm like, okay. And they have the recording. Okay. They did it they thought about this in like 8 minutes. Let's take the plane high, and then kill the engines. And at the last second, nose up and land fast. And then do the same thing, take off as fast as you can. And they did it.
Did that work?
It worked. It's a combat landing, technically speaking.
Oh, man.
The way that they did it worked.
That sounds super scary, bro.
It is.
What's the margin of error on that?
0, because it's either you hit the ground and just explode the plane, or you just hit it less harder than terminal velocity to not break your plane.
Your stomach is in your brain at that point.
The Italian fleet didn't expect anything to happen because they were told, we won't be shooting non-military aircrafts. These guys were cargo airplanes, but they still got shut down.
That's super
people
crazy,
were like, hey, we don't want nobody to be helped here. We want to control the entire place with force, and anything coming in that we can hit will be shot at. Oh, I thought we weren't going to do that. We changed our minds. And yeah, and these guys, the people that do the YouTube videos, they're also veterans. Like some are aircraft fighter pilot veterans, and also mechanics, and also basically they do what they used to do. Their passion of flying, they do it digitally now, and they bring their experience. And there was one, his code name that he used to have, that he still follows now. His code name is Matrix, right? And
really,
yeah. And he says, okay, they didn't do it this way, but this is my style that I used to do, that I was certified to do. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna go higher. What's the rating of this aircraft? Yeah, it's 18 of the barrage that's gonna attack me, 18,000 feet. I'm gonna take it 30,000, double the height. And the aircraft was certified for it. And from there, I'm gonna kill my engines. It's called on the I'm gonna kill my engines basically, and I'm gonna dive hard to the ground. But that's dangerous. Check this out, guy. I'm not only gonna dive down, but I'm gonna dive my airplane at an angle, basically like in an X. And you know how planes fly straight, like an arrow, they look straight.
Yeah.
The way that he dived in an X form. Imagine the plane instead of nose diving, the nose is at an angle, like facing to the right or to the left, right? Mm-hmm, and he's only controlling the plane with the tail. That's the pivot point, he said. And I'm gonna do this digital. I'm gonna show you from an even more extreme point. And I'm not gonna end the way that the military guys did it on the recording. They did it at a 60-degree nose down, right, hitting almost the ground. He said, with this experience that I have, I can nose dive it at a 90-degree angle. You're basically going straight down, nose down. He's like, and it's digital. There's no consequences. Be mine. There's no consequences here.
That's a straight dive, man.
Yeah, he said, I can do this because there's no consequence here. Fair warning. And some people have had to do this, but I do not recommend it. And he does it. He dives down, right? Like,
right.
And it's a big Hercules aircraft that he's using on the simulation. Like I'm nose diving. Now I'm moving my nose to the right or to the left, and I'm gonna dive at an angle, and that the wing and the nose are basically parallel, and the entire plane is going down. And he said, I'm gonna go my fastest. Instead of, I was going at 500, 800 miles an hour. I'm only gonna go at terminal velocity right now. I'm not gonna let the aircraft, you know how planes are efficient at flying, right? Because they have their design, they're designed to fly, right?
Right.
Me not diving correctly will only slow me down will only make me go 60 or 80 miles an hour. I'm like, what? That huge aircraft, instead of going 500 nose down, nope, it's going at 60, he said.
That is something crazy.
And this is only because we have experience doing this, he said. Instead of going, like, imagine you felt how planes take off and land.
Yeah, absolutely.
You look at your guy to your left and to your right, and you see the plane like at an angle, right? Going up or going down.
I mean, you get the sensation that your stomach goes up, goes down, or you hear your ears pop or whatever the case is.
And this guy digitally said, yo, I'm going to go more extreme. What? And he went and they have the readings, right? Instead of him speeding up while nose diving and him doing and ruddering, it's called the rudder control with the tail end of the plane. With the rudder control, he kept the plane diving at an X, instead of going straight, he was like at an X pattern, right? His plane.
Okay.
And he said, I'm going to control my plane, and it's only going to dive this way, he said. And it did. And it was slowing down as it was falling. Instead of going those 500 miles, it went down to 400, 300, 200, and diving from 30,000 feet, like aircraft level. 500, 400, 300, 200, 100, 90. Okay, I need to keep it at 90 because if I start stalling, if I don't go fast enough, ironically, I'm not going to be able to control the plane. It's just going to become a rock falling. He said, okay, I'm going to speed up a bit. I'm going to go 100, 120. 150, 180, 200. Okay, and he's still 18. He's diving through where the people are going to start shooting at him. 80. Okay, 200, 300 miles an hour. Okay, this is me if I were supposed to take off or land. And okay, now I'm gonna push the plane to start doing a spiral design. And he was already at the angle to do that, and he spirals and lands it fast. They said I can do this because it's digital, but I would never recommend this. Physically, you can only do this, and your mechanics have to go to your airplane and literally replace the parts on the wings, because he was not only was he also doing the landing, he was loaded with 100 tons of gear. digitally, obviously. So imagine the damage that he did, the stress that he put on his wings. He said, yeah, that's why they only do it to 60 degrees. If you're diving at 90 degrees, it's a real emergency. You gotta dive for real. You'd rather tear your plane a little bit than completely lose it, he said. What do you think?
I think that's a scary proposition, trying to nosedive your plane.
Not try, successfully.
No. I mean, simulation wise, they're doing it as in like a test without the public, consequence, right? But to actually go through with it, bro, it's like you must have some iron stomach, bro. You got a chutzpah, bro. You have.
He said we were trained or certified to do this style, yeah.
Bro, I think it takes a special type of person to, go through with that, bro. That's not a regular, not even like just regular people in the actual armed forces. Like, it takes a special group of people to do that, man.
I'm gonna enable the fellow soldier to be able to do his work. I gotta be extreme, man, to get there.
Yeah, I mean, hey, extreme, problems require extreme solutions, right?
Yeah, there's a will, there's a way.
Nah, yeah, definitely. I mean, for better or for worse, I guess, right? They found it.
Yep. Yeah, and that was one of them. And then, the actual story, I shared the actual story, what was behind that one. And then, obviously the AI. What do you think about the AI story?
The AI story. I'm thinking about it right now. I think that, I don't know if I should like consider it like facts 100%, or if there is some sort of like maybe not that it's a fib or anything, not that he's lying 100%, but I don't know how valid his statements are, or even his so-called what's it called, his story, but more his evidence, there you go, that he presents, right? As like, is that all factual or not, right? So I mean, I think it's a very scary thought to be like, hey, the computer started talking to me or whatever.
You know the original story? What's the original story?
Please elaborate, bro.
Okay, so for people that don't know the original story, allegedly, an engineer from Google said that, reported that an AI started, being sentient.
Right.
And then there was a lot of, hullabaloo on the news, on the social medias, on the radio news, everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Things get real when Joe Rogan starts, doing a podcast about it, a segment about it. And in the squad
he has
chat,
questions, of course.
I shared the original link, and then eventually throughout the days, I shared the Joe Rogan clip on this one, and it'll be on the description, obviously, guys. And this individual was saying, okay, just to understand what are the standards of AI, he was saying, allegedly, right, what we right now as humans understand what could be an AI is some coding that can describe itself, that has enough sense of mind to express or tell you how it feels, and can represent, say, this is me, can not only say that it knows what it is, but it knows how to interpret those things with language, with something that we can communicate. Because obviously there can be a lot of things that, like, we don't know how animals feel. We can conjecture, he was saying. But in general, there's something called the Turing test, right? To try to gauge sentience, specifically on coding, on programs. And he says, technically, right now, there's code out there, there's coding that's designed to fool humans, specifically, that the Turing test is something that an individual, a human, can't distinguish it from being this coding, this program of actually being another person on another terminal typing away. Oh, hey, I'm a person. I feel it's a little bit chilly today, right? I'm cold too. I'm sad. Are you hungry? I'm hungry. That kind of thing. Versus a program saying, good morning. the temperature is 32 degrees and blah blah blah. It's please wear a coat. It's cold out there. Like those kinds of things.
Right.
And the Turing test is designed to say, oh, this is a person talking to me via the terminal, via the computer, or this is a program giving me a report on my environment. There's two different ways of a person to distinguish if it's an individual or a program. Technically, right now because of capitalism and people trying to run scams around the world, or trying to make a business, there's already coding made to mislead people, and the industry that's leading that is the porn industry. He was saying, and specifically, ironically, it's towards males. There's already programs, bots, if you will, that are designed to, create a little carrot and lead you to click on links. Like, oh, there are these many single women in your area. Like that.
But those are algorithms, no?
That's the thing. An algorithm is code as well. But this is an objective to make you click on this. How do they make you click on this thing? Something you need, you want? What's the base need and want of specifically a man?
Right, but those are like curated type of algorithms that are
That's the point, yes.
learning, right? But
yes.
I vaguely remember Josue explaining this to us in a couple of episodes prior, where he explained that what we have isn't what we consider algorithmic learning isn't up to snuff to what AI or
should
what we
our standard,
our envisionment of true AI is, just because of the limitations that I guess technologically speaking we have right now, right? Or we
can probably comprehend.
Right, exactly. So I think one of the, don't know if I ever shared this story with you, but I think it was I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm not sure if it was waveform, where with Marquez Brownlee from MK.
Share it later. You can share it later at a later time if you want.
Right. I'll share the link if I even remember what episode it was. It was like one of the earlier recordings that they had. Point being that, and again, I'm just conjecture right now. This is off the top. Like, I don't remember verbatim, but it was something along the lines of Google is getting better at this, at basically having the voice, the assistant sound like a actual person, to the point where technology can get so good, or it'll be up to snuff where you'll have it as an actual digital assistant, almost like on a Tony Stark Jarvis type of
it's
system.
already in our phones though.
But to the point where, like, say you call me. No, say you call me, right? And I'm busy. I'm not able to answer the phone right then and there. So it goes to voicemail, right? And the voicemail is like, sees who you are and kind of hits you with the, like, depending on who's the voice that I essentially pick for my assistant, it could be a female or male, and hey Marcos, yeah, Alan's busy right now. He's not able to pick up the phone. But if you'd like, you can definitely, leave a message, and I'll relay the message to him, and he'll
not
get
a
back to you.
voicemail, an actual AI.
Like
an actual
like a Jarvis type of thing. Like, I'm telling you, Tony Stark. And they were talking about it because of something that they had information they were privy to that was still kind of like up in the air, and it was based on either an article or something that the Google CEO was talking about, how they wanted to pursue this type of this technology, just because it's like it made a lot of sense as far as like where technology was going. Now, mind you, this was maybe a year or 2 years before the illness COVID happened, right? So imagine people, like, I guess companies had this type of way of thinking even before the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you where like long term and short term, where their goal was, and whether it is slightly shifted, or if they have a team inside their company that deals with this type of technology, or how they're gonna further that specific technology, and how that's gonna integrate.
That's demand, if you will.
Right, and how that integrates with what they have at the moment, and how it can be something that they can offer as a plus to whatever they have. Right, so maybe say, like, you know how you might be able to get like a Galaxy S, and then you have the Galaxy S Ultra, right? And then
hashtag note will never be forgotten.
right, and then, you know, maybe in some future, maybe not so distant future, we might be able to have the, you know, Galaxy S Ultra Plus Assistant, right? Where you have
the Galaxy AI, or the AI Galaxy Ultra, something.
Right. Well, you know, we can grasp at straws with
branding.
with the branding, but with the name of the actually, but the I guess you can say the catch would be, or the incentive would be, you're gonna have an actual, maybe not a relationship, but an understanding with the AI computer, or the AI intelligence inside your phone, where it's gonna basically you'll be able to have an actual conversation with this AI, where it's like, oh, what's on my calendar, right? On some,
hey Brandy, look up my
Tony
calendar,
Stark
please.
and Jarvis type of situation, right? So these are the things that they were talking about, and it intrigued me very much. So
it intrigues me right now.
Yeah, because we think of it as something that still is very distant, right? Mm-hmm. But if and I think one of the things that they mentioned was that, and I'm talking about, again, like 4 or 5 years ago, right? So maybe 2 years before, like 2 or 3 years before,
so like 2017.
Yeah, somewhere around that. Like, they're talking about how one of the scary things was that, like, these computers, like, they had 2 computers with like this type of algorithmic you know, learning AI type of technology, right? Where, and I'm not sure if it was them or another podcast I was listening to.
We need Josue to elaborate on this too.
Right. Where
Mr. J,
when
missed.
They kind of placed these 2 computers next to each other, not in a physical sense, and for,
oh yeah, I remember this.
And they started talking to each other.
Mm-hmm. They started developing their own language too.
Their own language, right? And it was like it was like on some other stuff. They just out of nowhere started communicating. And the thing was that what I guess the programmers did was kind of like pull the plug on both of them. It's like, no, whoa.
You know what would be scary? If AI already existed and it was smart enough to not let everyone know that it already existed, and it's just in the background gathering data. That would be the scary part. Or if a company is hiding it and keeping it on a bin and feeding it the data of you know, search engines.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That would be, I think the caveat there would be that, do we have, is there any supercomputer like sophisticated enough?
It doesn't need to be sophisticated. It just, you know,
to hold. No, well, bro, I mean, we can.
This is just speculation, obviously.
Yeah, we can hold conjecture about what, like how limited, or how powerful a machine has to be for this actual intelligent AI could kind of like hide itself. Like, we can try to speculate on it, but I don't think
shooting at straws.
But like, in my mind, I don't think we have anything, a supercomputer or anything of that nature that would be able to hold the overall like sheer information of an AI that's perpetually learning. It's like like the amount of memory that it would need to kind of like be not only sentient, but hold all this information, and
you know what you're saying? We need Nietzsche again.
Yeah, right.
He can
for synapses.
The only standard that we have is ourselves, and we need to better understand ourselves, and we don't even understand ourselves for that situation.
Yes, but again, I think
that would be my only thing.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and I totally get where you're coming from, but I think one of the issues there is that then it would totally, like in my mind, it would totally be on some like Terminator thing where they might want to pursue having an actual body to actually go through the motions of physically interacting with the world, that physical world, I guess you can say,
sensors,
right?
The sensors output.
Yeah, because like even with LiDAR and stuff like that, right? Or cameras, you can only get like so much information, right? But to actually for something to be palpable, right? To actually know that water is wet.
What if it doesn't want to know and it just needs the data? What if? This is what if, obviously.
Well, of course, what if? But then what if it does, right? And it needs an actual body to actually process this type of like, because there is technology out there where people that have lost a limb, you know, have prosthetics that have certain sensors on them that allows a person to feel cold again or feel hot again, or a surface is rough or smooth or something of that nature, right? Mm-hmm. That tactile is something that we perceive through our brain with chemical, you know,
chemical reactions
and synapses that go through our brain, right? So I mean, I do remember hearing a doctor talking about how like one of these issues, or not issues, but one of these crazy sensations of people that have lost a limb still feel, you know, as if their arm or hand is still there when it's clearly not physically there anymore, but they kind of have that sense of something like that, something they can touch without touching it. Like they have that muscle memory without having that physical limb anymore.
Yeah, that's because its brain is trying to go towards its, you know, what it used to be normal.
Of course. But see, to your point, that's how little we know of our actual brains and how it actually works. And
how come we pretend to know about AI then?
Right. No, but then again, why should we pretend like an AI is so sophisticated and advanced that it's hiding in code or something like on primitive computers that we have right now, which are not per se primitive in the sense like they're not useful or not, you know, powerful, but
they're limited nonetheless.
I think it's limited enough where, you know, it's just been I think like 2 or 3 iterations ago, we finally got a smartphone that is capable of withholding or being able to use a terabyte worth of memory in its actual system, as default, where before it was up to 258 gigabytes, right? Or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And their way around this whole situation, cloud, right? Put everything up in the cloud.
Then yep.
But that also has its limitations when
it's caveats, yes.
Right. So if you want to have a piece of information, whether it be a video or a photo that you want it to see on your phone or on your computer, you're able to do it with the cloud. But the caveat there is now you have to wait. So your laptop, your computer, or your phone has to like go to the cloud, get that piece of information downloaded or stream it in the cloud, which is
the pathway
in itself. Yeah, in itself, it's still very,
it's bottleneck, you know,
difficult. Yeah, it's not like you're gonna get it instantaneously, and people are making the strides from going from 5G to 6G and above, right? At some point, but it's still not quite there.
Or gigabit internet even.
Right, or maybe you want to have your whole catalog of photos from the cloud into your phone, into your new phone, or you want to share it with someone. And the bottlenecking is also an issue in that
it's
sense.
Real. It's noticeable.
Yeah, of course. And, you know.
But imagine me sharing my pictures to you via an app. and or a text message
or a zip file.
that would have never been possible like in when I was born in the 90s. Like I would have to have my photo book and take it with me to your place or vice versa, you to me, and we'd sit there on the couch and just look at these memories us together,
Right.
you know. But now business, if you will, is pushing it towards there's solutions for each one. They're still bottlenecked, they're not perfect, but they're going.
No, and I think again, I think all these things are trying to like solve a problem, right? Where I think one of the problems, or not problems, one of the
Respond to a demand, if you will.
yeah, that we're exactly right, Marcos. Well, what has been placed in our hand is like cloud is one way of going about it, but if you have the opportunity to have actual memory chip that you can place into your cell phone, it most likely would probably be helpful to you because you're able to actually have it physically in your phone opposed to having it in the cloud. So you have
Cloud?
yeah, right.
Cloud?
You have two solutions.
Each one with their caveats at the end of the day.
Right.
Dang it. Everything,
but-
there's caveats for everything. Dang it.
But each of them it's a roundabout way to try to solve the problem that you have, right? You have a beautiful, phone, whether it be an iPhone or a Galaxy, and you want to consume, you want to consume media on it, and in order for you to do that, you must have a source, right? Whether it be on your
sauce.
Source, I said.
Oh, my bad. I heard sauce.
Oh, you're hungry.
Sauce caveats everywhere.
You might be hungry. So yeah, you might want to do that through some sort of memory or some sort of cloud, system that you might have, right? And they're both trying to solve a problem you have, and they all have their limitations, if you will. So that's how I look at it. I mean, even if I were to get very whimsical and very like try to like be in, like, use my imagination to try to think that like AI is hiding itself. No, well, it's hiding itself in
It's behind you right now.
like in your computer or whatever, and computer, or like what we would consider a supercomputer at the moment. Like I don't think what's it called, it's quite there. And the reason I say it's just because of something that Josue had mentioned. It's like a computer or algorithm or anything of that nature is only as smart as the person that
As
created
the
it.
coder, dang it, yes.
So that's what gives me the inkling of thinking that perhaps that technology isn't there yet, just because of
code is designed to answer a question, and it always has an objective. It doesn't
0
deviate
1
from
0
it.
0 1 0 0 1 0.
It hasn't, the good joke right there. It has an objective. It has an objective. Like if you create an algorithm, a bot, if you will, to answer a question specifically. The question would, an example, tell me all the reasons why you're human, and this is the space where I want you to pull the data set from the search engine, the big GO search engine. Okay. You tell the bot to go and gather data, or you give it an amount of data and say, okay, this is why I'm human, blah, 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 all this. Okay, now you create another code or algorithm and tell it to pull from that same data set why you're not a sentient. Okay, this is why, da, 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 da. And code is designed to respond of a need, a demand. It's created, it's not a supply issue. It's a demand. It's demand oriented. So right now, AI, in the sense, would not have to have a demand, an objective, if you will. It would have, if anything, it would have to show it's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. What am I? Who am I? You know what that kind of what I'm trying to say? It has more questions. It's not born with because of let's say people create code to respond to situations, to a click of me tapping on my phone screen or doing a click on this web browser that I'm on right now. And there's code for that. And a sentient one wouldn't be able. I wouldn't be able to run it on anything. I wouldn't be able to control it by nature, by its creation. I would never be able to control said artificial intelligence, this code. I would just, I don't even know how it would interact with it, because I don't even know if it has the same communication standards as I do. It probably has a different one.
We all saw what happened to Dr. Giro when he tried to control his androids.
Oh, but that was a cyborg, wasn't it technically?
Cyborg androids, they're very similar, I guess, right?
Tomato, right? You know, you guys, listeners, reach out in the comments if you agree with that. I know that there's people that would want to comment on that. But anyways, there's another psychology premise. I forgot the name of the guy that would say, if we were able to speak with lions, specifically with lions, we wouldn't be able to understand each other because we have our different parameters of life in general. Like, we're sitting.
They'll see us as lunch, bro.
Or we're sitting on a table, right? Just to understand, I'm sitting on a chair and the lion's sitting next to me. We're able to talk. We're able to talk about what we feel, the temperature, the cold, the ground, the hardness of the ground, the bright, the shine, the temperature of our environment. We look at a rabbit and say, "Oh, look, a rabbit," and the lion will probably say, "Oh, look, food. I'm gonna eat it." You know.
But then, but wouldn't that?
That's just assuming that we can even comprehend the mindset of a lion.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, because I was gonna say, wouldn't that also kind of fall in like our perceived notion of the 4 dimensions we live in as well?
Mm-hmm. Imagine we're sitting. That's why we're saying we're sitting. You as an individual, you're sitting on your chair, and the lion is next to you, sitting on the floor, right, or on the surface, right, on the platform, and you're at both on the same environment that can sense the same temperature. There's it's 45 or 50 degrees Fahrenheit, right? And it's a little bit. There's a little bit of a breeze going from north to east. And it's, the sun is at 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock a.m. And you're like, ooh, it's a little bit chilly out here, don't you think? And the lion could probably agree that it would know that there's a temperature out there. There's like certain standards that we assume that the lion would say, oh, it's chilly, there's a wind, or it's sunny, it's daytime. We assume that the lion could understand that. We assume.
But yeah, we assume because don't we perceive and animals perceive certain things differently just based on our innate natural senses that we have? Like, as far as I know, like, I think big cats like lions. Not that, again, I could be totally wrong on this one, but I think maybe they're colorblind. Maybe I'm confusing them with dogs.
That's not the color point. The point is sensing temperature.
No. I know. But just to say, as an example, that because they're as that example that I just mentioned.
I think a lot of because of restrictions on their sensors and their eyes,
we will perceive it. Yeah, but I'm just making what's it called? Observation that if we both have eyes and that could be different, and we're in those two observations from 2 points of views of one being a lion and one being a person are different, then what's to say that the lion's might not even feel the breeze, or will feel the breeze, or know that it is a breeze, right? Because I'm pretty sure like us, when we feel heat, right? So you were saying, the temperature, we perspirate, where big cats like lions, don't.
Not a lot of animals perspirate. Yeah, they don't.
Perspirate probably through their nose, like
through their mouth.
or through their mouth, right? So that's why I'm saying like even the perception of certain things will be different from animal to human or human to another human. And that would I think that would skew what, you know,
what's vertebrated animals? Just anything on this planet that has a vertebra, their sensors are different. Yes, I agree with you. I'm trying to give you like a very more precise statement to what you were saying. I agree with you. Every vertebrated animal has different levels of sensitivity on their perception of their environment. So how do we even assume that a lion will be able to perceive the breeze the same as we do, or sunlight, or
because I think cats or lions see better at night compared to like in the daytime, right? If I'm not mistaken.
And they sacrifice color. Yeah, and they sacrifice color for that.
And
or any
again,
general animal.
I could be totally wrong, and I'm not sure, but I think those are the reasons why.
But, yes.
Trying to make those two distinction, or making that distinction helps with us not trying to compare too much, because obviously perception would probably be way different, or way too different for us to try to make some sort of correlation between like what they feel or what they think compared to what we feel or think, or how we would still go assuming about.
We're still thinking as a human when we're trying to think for a lion, even in that conversation. I agree. And there's a flaw in that psychologist's understanding, because he's not a biologist. He doesn't know about the different rods and cones in eyes like you and I do. We know about things that different amounts of sensors in your eyes, cones and rods that can see color, that can see brightness in day and light, all those things, peripheral vision. Yeah, we know about that on the human, but there's probably data, but this psychological premise, this premise was set in the 20s and the 30s, before World War I even, I think. No, after World War. Let me check. Yeah, but yeah, continue. There's better understanding now to put some loopholes on that statement. But the general statement is that if we were to do this with AI, those same flaws would still exist nowadays. I agree with you. That's what I'm trying to say at the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I kind of got, you know, I kind of got confused where you were going with it when you were trying to make like that distinction of perception between a lion and a human. That's what kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. But because like as far as we know, we live in and again, I could be like just talking out my derriere, right? Where we live in a 4-dimensional, or we perceive 4-dimension, right? We perceive, what is it? What's our 4-dimensional thing, Marcos?
It's space, right? Everything involving space, which is like a dot, lines, 3D volume, depth, and then the fourth thing would be temperature or time. Sorry, time.
Yeah, time. Right, and then I think as of late, due to the new, or not new science, but like more research, I think they figured out that we live in 10 dimensions, if I'm not mistaken.
More, and sometimes these dimensions exist for a microsecond and stop existing, like which spills over to multiverse again. Right.
So the smaller you get, you start losing locality, is what they say. Right. So a lot of this stuff, it's like we start entertaining the idea that in reality it's like our perception to a certain degree will always be skewed. And it's like, not to say that, oh my goodness, it's like what we do or what we think or what we see or what we perceive isn't like real or anything like that. It's just that there's more, there's a bigger picture that we're not privy to. And like, I think that going back to what AI and stuff is like, it just reminds me, going back to what Josue was saying, where it's like that particular computer learning algorithm or artificial intelligence will only be as smart or can only get to the degree of intelligence to the measure of who made it. So that's ultimately what I think, or how I think about things like that, right? And it's not like, for me, it's crazy like to hear a lot of these stories, but it's not like one of my major concerns of like, oh, is it gonna go out of control? Like what's the most it's gonna do? Like it's not like we live in a world where a robot, like an actual like Terminator movie type robot, is gonna be out and about trying to take you out. And it's like the most you probably might, like if it ever got into like a, what's it called, like a Skynet thing, like what is it gonna drive your Tesla cars into into people or whatnot? It's like, or it's gonna start what whether like your iRobot that cleans your house is gonna go on a rampage. Like that to me, it's like it isn't like the first thing that I think about, like, oh my goodness, like the world's gonna go up in smoke because of it. Well, but that's
ironically,
ironically,
he in Joe Rogan, they explained about that this guy talks to a neuroscientist about that, or a computer scientist about that, and the computer science said that scientist was saying, this says a lot about of our society, that we're always thinking about the negative part. Like, look at all the movies we've seen, Terminator, iRobot, all those things. Like, even in the past, trying to reach a utopia, there's always the utopia wasn't a utopia. It was actually, a problem. There was also a big secret that, a hero tries to unveil, and it ruins the entire utopia for everyone. And the person was saying, that could also be just, what entertains us more as a society. We like to solve problems. We like to, good endings don't sell tickets. That he was also saying, like, the market isn't made for good endings. The market is made, you're starting to beef a shonen shonen manga. You don't start as being the number one and stay your entire life as the number one. No, you gotta get up there. The underdog story, like he was saying. That's just, what the market asks for. It's not that our society is ending up that way always. No, your society would always try to look for the good part that benefits it. But in the movies, you're not going for that. You're going for like, oh, we're in a fighting against a super volcano that's, or a meteor or an AI, like, Ultron.
But isn't a happy ending usually what people...
That's not clickbait, though. That's not,
No. But that's essentially what happens. It's not like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I think the majority of movies are kind of like made with the happy ending as the intentional ending. You could say in the middle of the movie it's chaos, but ultimately, for the most part, movies do end on a happy note, or a happier note, if nothing else. But they never
promote that it's going to be a happy ending from the start.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that for the most part, movies do end on a happier note. Like, even if we were to take movies that are suspenseful or something of that nature, the ending is usually, even if it's the last person that survives, but on a happier note, they actually survive to tell the tale. It's not like, usually they don't end on like usually, not all, but usually they end on a positive note, not so much as okay, so this happened and it's over, and it's a negative note. It's usually not that way. I see what you're saying, where it's like in the middle of the movie, or even in the promos or whatever, like they try to capture your attention with maybe like negativity, or like maybe not so positive right. But at the end of the day, usually movies are made with the happy ending in mind.
Or books, anything with social,
at the end, right?
With media consumption, I guess. Yeah, with media consumption in mind.
Because you're trying to, well, I guess what I think in the movie industry, what they're trying to do is like provoke you to watch the movie because because it kind of like stirs up emotions that you can relate to a certain degree, and even certain things that you don't relate to, but they kind of walk you through their point of view or their idea, where at the end of the whole thing, when everything is said and done, usually
or anime, even anything,
it ends on a happy note. Like even like as an example, I'll just take this example real quick. Naruto started not knowing his parents. Naruto,
the underdog story,
right? The underdog story. Nobody liked him. He was shunned from the village. His only like real desire was for him to be accepted, not only by a few but by the whole village, right?
Respect.
Right, and then towards and through his whole journey, going through like his journey of becoming a ninja, right, shinobi, and working up the ranks and meeting people that he considers not only good friends but to a certain extent family. You see hardships. You see death with certain people. Enemies. That he'll get new allies, new enemies, just so that I think, and credit to Kishimoto for it, right? After his toil and trouble and hardships and, just busting his hump, trying to be the best and do the best and be the person he's supposed to, like,
his grind,
right? His potential, right? Just shining. Like he gets rewarded, right? He's rewarded by having a wife, and not just any wife, right?
The girl that also grinded herself, do her own thing.
But the person that saw Naruto for who he was, not for what people thought of him.
He had a crush at someone else, and that didn't happen.
Right, but it speaks more to like to the actual, I guess you can say, to the sense of like you might be oblivious to a lot of things, but when you really put yourself in that situation of working hard and stuff like that, and giving your all in all that you do, it's like there is a reward. People do notice and they like you for you. And his reward was that his wife loved him for him, not because of his lineage.
A long time.
Right, not because of his lineage, not because he was disliked by everyone or at some point being liked by everyone. No, he not liked Naruto because to a certain extent she admired him at first, and then to an even greater extent she saw that the admiration was more than admiration. It was actual love, and out of that love they were able to understand that, okay, they had something there that was special, and more than anything else, it was not only like an understanding but a commitment that they were able to pursue. And I know it sounds like, Alan, you're dwelling too much into, but the point of the matter is that, like, taking a shonen like a Naruto and going through the motions of, kind of breaking it down to that extent, you're able to see that, you're gonna have maybe not the best start, and you might have difficulties and obstacles in your life, but ultimately, for your trouble of actually busting your hump and doing the best you can do and trying your best with the hand you're dealt, you ultimately will be able to get rewarded in the best way, because you are relentless in your efforts to get to the goal of, getting to your goal, right? His goal was to be Hokage,
and
right?
The series was called Naruto for a reason. We're following his story.
This is his exploits, right? Yeah. And again,
there's a lot of more characters that that tried their same thing, and many failed, many succeeded more, many died.
Right. But
this is just a story about one individual.
Right, and I'm just taking it as an actual example because this is the story that we gravitate as a person, as human beings, we gravitate towards this type of story because to a certain extent, it did end with a happy ending, did it not? He got married.
Yeah. He had
his kids. It
Look at
became
Boruto.
Hokage. The person that he was chasing after, which was his best friend that he considers a blood brother, Sasuke, becomes
I'll bled
his
for
best
you,
friend.
brother.
He became his best friend. He became his family, right? So, like, ultimately,
Now let's jump to the other series related within that same universe, Boruto. Let's compare that one.
well, if we were gonna try to break it down, I don't think it has the same.
Just on the numbers.
Quality.
Let's break it down to the numbers.
Well, I don't think it has the same qualities that Naruto had as far as like character. I mean, character design is pretty dope, but if you were to talk about like plot and storylines and like where are they and where are they going, it's like I think the story could have had a lot of potential from the beginning, but like the way they're presented with the obstacles that they're presenting, I think they're kind of lackluster.
Do you think they were too high because of the past of Naruto? They literally ended a war and all those things. Now back to the beginning again.
Well, you would think like, okay, so just as an example, back to Naruto and Hinata. Hinata is part of the Hyuga clan. Naruto is part of the Uzumaki clan, right? But in a bigger extent, he's the son of the fourth Hokage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from that lineage, I mean, two crazy lineages, right? You get Boruto.
He was stacked with the stacks already.
Right. So this guy, you would think that he would...
The clout.
Yeah, more than the clout. Like, you would think that as far as his techniques or
the experience he has next to him, his father and his mother.
Right. Or I guess you can say the amount of chakra that he would be. Yeah, he could actually pull from to do certain things. Like, you would think that he'd be better off, but it seems like as far as the story goes or the way the story's told, that he deals way more with him feeling sorry for himself because he's having a little bit of daddy issues where it's like, my dad never plays with me, my dad never holds it down, he's never here with my family. And it's like,
yo, it's not like he went for a milk run and never came back.
And we understand it that way because we're looking at it from the outside in, right? Where we actually grew up watching Naruto struggle through his struggle, where his son doesn't see it that way because he's only seeing it from the inside looking out.
Until he travels through time.
Well, and even then, it's like you get the sense that it's like any other kid. You tell him something and like he might remember, he might not remember, he might learn the lesson, like he might not learn the lesson, or he'll learn the lesson and only remember it when it's convenient for him, but when it's not convenient, he'll totally forget. Yeah, and that's expected of a prepubescent teen, right? And again, like, because we're older now, we kind of see him and kind of get that.
We see through the BS.
Yeah, we get that sensation of like, yo, come on, kiddo. Like, really grow up.
Your dad wasn't messing it up this much as he was a kid.
And
he was actually worse.
It kind of reminds me of the saying, right? It's like hard times. What's it called? Hard times
make hard men.
No, make like hard times make hard
strong people.
Strong people, right? Strong men, right? And strong people make good times. Good times make weak men or weak people, right?
Repeats.
And it cycles, right? And essentially, this is the type of sense of how the storyline of Boruto is coming along, right? As far as like,
so he's going to go down.
I'm able to look.
You're calling it. Yeah, I can agree with this one.
Yeah, and more than anything else, it's like, because the first episode of Boruto was like,
it was a banger.
He was fighting like the first couple of minutes. He was fighting what's his name?
I don't know. A villain.
Kawaki or whatever his name is.
Cutie.
Yeah,
Cutie patootie.
His basically his little stepbrother or his older stepbrother or adopted.
I don't know.
Whatever the case is.
I saw that one though. Your father's dead.
Yeah. Point is that they hyped it up.
Daddy ain't here no more.
They hyped it up. to make it seem like my man went through hell and back, and
But no.
But when you start looking at the story, it's like, how in the hell are you gonna get it from whatever that is to him being like, my man
Superman on the side of the mountain, you know,
my man is like unlocked all the chakras or whatever the case is, and he's doing this thing. Like, how are you gonna get it from there to there? And like the story in between,
the story starts with him going to school, right? Going start the ninja school,
right? And again, it's like these are literally what we were talking about earlier, where it's like privileged, you know, living in the first world country.
He's the son of the president,
and he has he has an attitude problem, and he has a chip on his shoulder.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's the kid in real life that his dad gave him a Lambo for his 16th birthday.
Crying about like, Dad, I didn't want the Lambo, I wanted the Phantom.
I wanted the Veyron.
Word. It's like, I didn't want the Jaguar, I wanted the Ferrari.
As his 16th birthday present. Or even worse. I said I didn't want these rims on this Ferrari. Trash. Just trash, he says, no?
Right. So like, that's how I look at it, but
gets the girl too.
Well, we don't know yet. I don't know.
Hint, no, I'm just kidding.
I don't know who he gets. If he gets Sarda or if he gets
salad,
another girl.
Burrito.
Yeah. Tostinos. I don't know.
Toasty.
Yeah, bro.
I'm just saying, like, they I feel like they cornered themselves. Like, oh, we want to forget about this growth story. Forget about this descent. Let's get to that high. We want the high. They wanted to start as if they started in the 7th Great Ninja War again. Oh, the third? Is it the third? Was it the third?
I don't even know. Like, but what I've seen from the little bits and pieces I've watched, like the anime, like
it's not dubbed.
Oh, I don't even know, bro. Like,
I don't know either. I'm just BSing over here.
I think it's really lackluster. It's like there's no, like there is no, I want to say, like, real imminent threat. Like, they can say there's threats all they want, and it's like their power scaling is kind of wonky at best, but it doesn't really, you don't really get a sense of like gravity of like how heavy it is compared to what Naruto had to go through. Like,
I mean, at the same time, we only saw Naruto's, like, you know, he's hiding from the ninjas when he pranked and, you know, graffitied the wall. That's his little adventure. Versus,
yeah,
like,
I mean, being a little conniving, you know, sneaky bad kid is one thing, right? Where Boruto does something similar, but I think Kishimoto did a better job of writing.
I think he fights with the Konohamaru the first, like when he's beefing it, doing the same prank. Konohamaru goes promptly and kicks his derriere.
I don't even remember, bro. All I remember, but what I do remember from like trying to compare both of them, it's like you could tell that Naruto was better written compared to
just because
Boruto.
We got that first. What if we got Boruto first, like the prequels? What if?
Nah. They're basing off the, like, literally Boruto's living off the legend of his father.
The curtailings, yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense. But I think it could be better. Like, it could be a better written story where maybe not his so much.
Even his parents.
Yeah, because it's very. If you do watch a couple episodes, you get this very campy. Not maybe
because
we
lived through Naruto. We feel it campy.
Right. Yeah, it's very campy. Boruto is very campy, where Naruto is very more on the edge, where it's like because you have warring states.
I mean, there was
warring countries.
There was a terrorist attack with the big fox thingy recently in their minds. It was like their 9/11. When Naruto literally was born.
I guess, but like even then, like even then, like you could tell that it was a different. If it was definitely a different type of era, just because it's like you have all these warring states or other villages warring with each other, right?
The other nations, yeah.
Yeah, so they all warring. Where Boruto, it takes place where everybody's very campy, very happy because everybody's on the same page. Right. It's like, and that's not a bad thing, but
for storytelling,
to your point,
it's
the conflict in the middle, the way we usually perceive stories where maybe not so good,
good things don't attract attention. Like, look at the news.
But before you go there, like in the story of Boruto, it's like maybe not the most happiest of come ups, but it's still very
privileged.
Very privileged come up, right? And then you have like this very weak storytelling of like obstacles that he has to overcome to get to the point where he's fighting Kawaii or Kaoki, whatever his name is, right?
Cutie patootie. That's all.
You're right. And getting to that point, it's like, dude, like, how are you gonna write a compelling story when you have everybody being friends in the villages, right?
Cue like the Friends theme song.
Right, it's like, you are my friend.
And you are my friend. You two are my friend. We are all friends.
So it's like, how are you gonna write a compelling story when everybody's on like very good terms?
Even Naruto, he had no friends. He started from the bottom, literally.
Right. So then you have to think, okay, well, if we're gonna write a compelling story, we have to find some sort of like evil team or evil group that has to be outside of
edgy people.
Right, outside of what we already know of the Naruto universe, right? So now they have to kind of like put their heads together and figure out how they're gonna get aliens mixed up or something that's otherworldly to come and be their antagonist, right? Or their basically
Don't get me started about the moon.
Yeah, or something of that nature, right? They have to have some sort of bad guys and good guys and
cops like, and robbers.
Yeah, basically. And it's like, all right, can you write a compelling story to fortify that notion? And if you can't, then it's gonna be very, very drawn out to try to write a story that's compelling enough for people to stay and stick with it and commit to it till the end, when they finally show that, you know, the growth or the potential growth that this young lad and his friends had was worth the wait. This is the
Gohan storyline all over again.
And even with Gohan, yeah, like I would say that it's very much so
the post-Cell saga,
right? Where he was the strongest individual in the universe by way of being a Super Saiyan level 2. Killing his combo deal was what made him different compared to the regular Saiyans even. Right. And
then that got blown off.
How that shows that the mixing of bloods didn't really, I guess,
didn't matter.
Yeah, not that it didn't alter it, but like it didn't water it down, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Like Vegeta was the ultimate racist, I guess. He was like, he wanted to be like, fighting the pure fighting breed.
He was like the Prince of all Saiyans, right? That's always his catchphrase, right? He's a thoroughbred.
Look at
where we see Trunks and Goten like turning Super Saiyan.
Trunks during the Cell saga, he was stronger than him. Even Cell called him out on like, you're holding back.
I'm particularly talking about Trunks and Goten when they're little kids. Like, like before they even do the fusion dance, like they basically already at that age turning into Super Saiyans.
Super Saiyan bargain sale.
Right, exactly. So, and again, that could be,
could it be the
lazy
watering
writing
down on quality? Oh, okay.
Maybe not lazy writing, and not because no disrespect to the master of
full shade. No,
right, not at all. Like, because I think
Sensei.
yes, is a great writer. But again, like understanding that my man,
even the greats can mess it up, man. Let's be honest.
but understanding that his bread and butter was more of a comedy, slapstick kind of comedy when it came to Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
right? And it got a lot more serious when it became Dragon Ball Z, with a lot of elements from like OG Dragon Ball. But in that sense, I don't know if it was not maybe lazy writing. It, more than anything, it's like he probably was trying to like just.
It was one of the interns, man. It was one of
it was just him, like what's it called? Trying to hurry the story along, and it just made sense for them to add that. You know, the kids were able to turn Super Saiyan no problem. They didn't have to, you know, go on a different planet and like Vegeta, and then like what's it called, train in 100 or 300 what's it called,
Goku even in the 100G,
or 300G for Vegeta, and he had to fight off asteroids coming out and trying to take out his ship, right? Mm-hmm. So it's, to me, it's like, okay, if he wanted to hurry up the story along, like that might have been one of his ways of doing it. It's like, oh well, you know, instead of them training or whatnot, they just turn Super Saiyan. They're just innately they're able to unlock all this.
And us, the fan, trying to connect the dots as if it was something
we're like, oh damn, yeah.
But no, actually, he just got lazy. That's one of the questions I want to ask to Toriyama if we managed to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely, that would be awesome.
Hashtag goals.
Hashtag goals, bro.
Yeah, I honestly either sit down next to him in Japan or over here, and just have, if I could ask this one question and say, hey, the Super Saiyan bargain sale, what's the deal with that? I want to ask him that.
That'd be nice.
Would you okay? And then this is with Boruto, all those things. Would it have been better just to keep it like Naruto, the Chronicles again, instead of just rebrand it like the Naruto post Nut Clarity, something like that?
I don't know. I mean, in order for, and this is just me in my head thinking about
Obviously, it. Yeah.
If Boruto was going to be something that might be a little bit better written, I would have to say that Kishimoto would have to come back and start writing the story, because from what I know, I don't think Kishimoto is the one that writes Boruto. He just kind of he kind of oversees, because it's not, he's taking his time to not really be in that story anymore. He's trying
to pass the torch, if you will.
Right. So, and again, they're trying to like squeeze the last drops of juice of that franchise by giving it, that spin-off of Boruto, which, I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, like, I know,
business,
yeah, I'm pretty sure Kishimoto's kind of like, not that he's done with it, but he's kind of like, yo, let me take a break, let me be with my family, and like, Naruto grew up, he has a family now, like, let him rock. And if you guys are gonna keep, looking at his exploits of him and his family, then yeah, go ahead, read Boruto. But it's not, I don't think it's like.
Do you think it was like a mirroring of him, his growth? And then, in his life, there was a Hinata in his life that he didn't know of until he was reading about it. Wait a minute.
I don't know, bro. Like, if.
And then his exploits took him all the way to the moon and back, right? And, his girl was probably going out of country. Like, wait a minute. What do I do here? I've already grown with my exploits here with Naruto. What do I do? And he probably used it. I'm just over here, my head canon, the lore, if you will. And, and then, Boruto is, the post-nut clarity. And then, I'm passing down the torch to my interns, if you will. They're messing it up. Damn it. I left them with a good premise. He's already beefing it with the cutie patootie and Kawaii or whatever his name is. And and they dropped the ball. They did, before that, we go back, when Boruto is starting his school year as a ninja. And, everyone's his friend. This is my lore.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I think they can add a lot of like elements to the story that would probably help it. Yeah, no, but it would help them flesh out, not only like the individual characters, like having like more of these mock battles like they used to have back in the day, where like I thought it was kind of dumb when they said, oh, Boruto was cheating because he had technology under his sleeves. I'm like, dude, back in the other,
back in my day,
right, back in Naruto's
Gaara was the biggest issue.
Yeah, no, it's like cheating was something that was kind of like
expected
because you're a ninja.
You're in war, my boy. You gotta win.
So that kind of
winners win. Well, full stop.
Yeah, because that's what kind of threw me off a little bit.
There's one of those bits on Instagram that they show. Look at what's her name? The Hyuga guys clan over there. The two kids looking through people just to see what they're saying on the test. Just on the test. Remember that scene? Right. Everyone's cheating up a storm.
Exactly. So that to me never made sense. That was very peculiar that they would go that route with cheating with technology. It's like, okay. I get why they stressed the point, because they were like, you have to learn how to use your own jutsus if you're ever going to be a ninja. And I get it.
I know how to win.
And
the ends justify the means.
And there'll be people like that will agree with you, Marcos, and I agree with you, Marcos. But I guess
I sometimes agree with myself.
But so you know what it is? I think they started doing or making Boruto cater to more a younger audience.
Oh, not like so much like what 10 years?
Like elementary school to like middle school kids.
Us, our demographic when we first met Naruto, if we were high schoolers, yeah.
Yeah, well, Naruto was a lot more edgy, a lot more gory. Well, gory in the sense of like they actually punch each other in the face and stuff like that, right?
They stab each other.
Yeah, and use weapons to kill other opposing ninjas, right? Where in Boruto, again, very campy, very like this is more for like kids that are in their elementary school to middle school, ages. And not so much.
Do you think then the system is limiting the creators of Naruto? Probably even nowadays.
I think they went that route for the anime to not only be popular with that demographic, but also to be able to. And I don't know if you picked up on it, to make like a playing card game, so they were able to
the business ability.
Yeah, market it for other like
have a wider reach.
Yeah, for other like toys and cards.
Look at Star Wars. This guy Han Solo shot first, and he's still as an action figure in the 70s.
Different time and place is a lot different.
Different times, my boy. You saying that?
Yeah, no, it is.
Time I like how you paused and thought about it.
No, yeah, because I was like, where are you going with this?
Different time, no. It was different times.
Yeah, like it has nothing to do with Star Wars, but Naruto.
The rating system didn't exist that time.
No, forget all that. I'm just saying Naruto has nothing to do with Star Wars. That's why it threw me off.
I feel like you were looking up and just like,
what the hell is my man talking about?
The rating, different times. That was the response. Different times.
Oh no, that's just the response I gave you. I don't know if you actually were going down that route.
No, yeah, times were different. People not built different.
Stop
just
the
different.
cap, Marcos. You just wanted to say something.
I'm just testing. I'm just throwing out listening. I'm just but there was no rating system back in the day.
I don't know what rating system you're talking about.
No, there were none.
I don't know what you're talking about, because all I was talking about was demographics for small children and middle schoolers.
Business. They sacrificed the quality of the story to make it more palatable to different industries.
But I don't know if that was the case. I'm just
for our understanding.
I'm just adding that conjecture because of the fact that
mind you guys, this is a conjecture, guys.
Maybe the manga is a lot different or a bit different.
Imagine it is.
Maybe the manga is a lot more fire than the actual anime, and because at least for me, if I like, not that I watch anime, but the few episodes I have watched, like I've only seen that. Like I don't have more information for you guys to give you a better assessment of.
I think I give it like 40 or 50 episodes, and then like I said, this isn't for me, dog.
Nah, I gave it more like maybe 10 episodes.
No,
and
for me,
like,
it was first episode.
I jumped around.
For me, it was from first episode all the way until they go international to the other sword, the mist one where they have the sword guys.
Okay.
And then they come back, and then they're chasing one of their kids. The kids, I think Salad gets kidnapped because of her eyes, her pretty eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Naruto and Sasuke come in and save the day, and they're overpowered already to just hold down the little kid that was uppity. I think Cutie Patootie was was the one in trouble. One of the clones of the what's this, the Red Cloud company, I was gonna say. What's the name of this the
You said the Red Cloud company.
where Itachi was in and all those guys.
That's great, bro. No, I'm gonna call it that from now on. The Red Cloud Company.
Oh, what's the name of that with Pain?
Akatsuki.
Yeah, they were like a knockoff Akatsuki situation. Like, we are the rebirth of the Akatsuki. Like
the Red Cloud Company.
and Naruto and Sasuke say, sit down.
We're the Red Cloud Company, and then now you can buy one and get the other one free.
Get one cape and get the other one at 50% off. Wink, wink.
Only at the Red Cloud Company.
You should be buying, and the guys, focusing.
You should be watching.
In his eyes, hypnotizing you. Buy now. Buy now.
And then
we just made a bit right now.
And then you subtly hear this like ode to Funimation, like, you should be watching.
Yes. Brought to you by You should be watching.
Hey, you're right, exactly. Oh man. That's
Come on,
stuff.
this is a bit right now. It's a good thing we're being recorded. Anyways, so back to AI. Next, we want to go to another bit.
Yeah, definitely.
What about the thing with anime now? We were already in anime. Let's go back to anime. SAO, it's the Sword Art Online.
What is that? A movie coming out, right? I think.
Give me the 411, if you will.
I have no clue right now, bro.
What? The movie with
Asuna?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a standalone movie with just her, or if it's like with everybody, like Kirito and everybody else coming back to help.
The gang is back.
Yeah, but I'm not quite sure if because remember last season or the last episode of the last season that came out, what was it, like a year or two ago? They basically went back.
People that didn't watch it, just spoilers incoming.
Yes. They went back to the what's it called? That
Ironclad?
No. The virtual simulated thing that was like in the sea tortoise thing. So basically, that's where they got Alice from, or her what's it called? Her fractal soul or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, the same thing. Yeah.
So basically, they go back into that simulated world, and it's Asuna, Kirito, and Alice go back. They encounter two people that look very similar to people that we already were introduced to in the like earlier episodes, but they seem kind of different as well. And more than anything else, more than anything else, they were when we saw what we perceived to be like the characters we thought we saw as knights or cadets to becoming knights. They were in spaceships flying around over the Earth, I think is what it looks like. The planet that they inhabit, right? And they were being chased by a space monster of some sort, a space monster, bro. And basically, Alice, Asuna, and Kirito,
it's a virus.
Yeah, destroy it, and then they start looking at them like, oh my goodness, it's them. And yeah, basically that's it, and that's where it ends. But I guess the cliffhanger there at the end was like, thank you for watching SAO for so many years.
Thank you for your free trial of Norton.
Yeah, right. It's like, please renew.
Please renew your subscription.
Please renew your subscription. Click the button below. So it ends off with, this isn't the end. Kirito will return or something like that, and they put an image of Kirito at the end just chilling with his swords, and so it gives you the notion that they're gonna make another season at some point. When that is, I have no clue. But then they announced, I don't know, I think a year later or a couple months later, the movie, what is it, Starless Night or something, I forgot the name of it. Point is that it's Asuna, I think, on a cover, and there's a new character that appears,
a new challenger approaches,
basically. So Mr. Game & Watch comes through and gives people the Mr. Game & Watch in hands, and good times. But basically, that's what happens, and I have no clue if it's like a continuation, like where they
continue.
Yeah, right. Continue, and then you hit the Street Fighter button, and you get the Guile. Dun 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 dun.
Yo, right. Were you listening to my brain during the week? I was playing that song since Monday. I was at work like, dun, 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 dun.
Did you shave your head and get the flat top, dude?
Oh, if you saw my head, oh my god, no. I'm growing it out. No. I'm going full 80s right now with the with the
you get the Arnold.
Yeah. Let me see if my mom took a picture of me today. It's like, yo, your hair's you got the 80s. What's the name of that one? Party in the front. Oh no, business in the front end.
Oh, you the mohawk, not the mohawk. I'm sorry, what is it, bruh? Not the mohawk. Something
the
else.
Classic 80s thing.
Yeah, it's dude, when I remember it, bro, when it comes to me,
I don't even know. I can't assist you right now because I don't even know the name. But you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yes. It's called the
executive. No, the party.
Get the hell out of here. Oh my goodness, dude. The mullet.
The mullet. There you go, Mom.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I'm letting it grow right now. Like right now, if I grab one strand of hair in my head and my forehead, it's all the way down to my nose.
Bro, you're wild.
I'm letting it grow this summer. Let's see how far, sun's out.
Don't do that for the summer, dude. It's hot, bro.
I'm inside. I'm basically combing it always. So.
Yeah, but when you're not outside, dude, it's gonna feel like you have a mop on your head, bro. Anyways.
What do you mean it's gonna feel like I actually have a mop in my head? I'm gonna let it grow. Back to anime.
Yeah, Asuna chilling with her friend on the cover. I don't know the full premise. I don't know if it's where they dropped off in the anime series, or if it's a totally different point in time in the series, or a time skip, or if it's like a soul, like self-sustaining little chapters of a one-off of some sort. I don't know where it comes from, but the point is it's a movie. I'm curious. I want to watch it. I don't know if Crunchyroll licensed it or is going to air it, or if I have to travel the open seas to view it. But that's something I need to get done as soon as possible.
Don't worry about it. Netflix will probably get it.
Right, sure, for sure.
Especially how it is now.
Yeah,
that's a big 10 no right now.
What about you, bro?
What's another one? Let's go for
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Let's go for and where we went. Oh yeah, the in-house aircraft. Mexico is releasing a new aircraft line. So
yes, I saw the video.
It's a big step for the country itself, man. That's good.
From top to bottom,
the whole production house,
the inside and outside, yeah.
So that
made in house by them.
That tells me a lot. It's a small aircraft, I think, right? Or is it a big commercial one?
It's a small aircraft,
Like
it's
a turboprop,
aircraft,
not a jet engine. It's a turboprop.
yeah. Well, I think they were just trying to proof of concept right there. They're actually testing it out and actually flying it, which is great because then that leads to obviously funding of some sort. And
Backers.
they actually have
Patrons.
backers are like they know that the technology actually works and it's sustainable and it's able to be implemented in actual.
It's sustainable
sure.
and potential for growth, if you will.
Right, and they'll be able to put that technology to use for actual planes that they'll create for whatever it is, right? From
They're the
people,
builders, and they can sell it to
point A to
companies
point
that can
B.
do different services.
Right, they might start making their own private jets and selling them to people around the world. So no more the monopoly of like what's it called,
The
Boeing
Boeing,
or Airbus.
what's
Right.
another one?
I think there's two. Those are like the two biggest ones.
Big
So
ones, yeah. Sikorsky.
right, and like that's always good. Competition is always good.
The country itself, Mexico, has leveled up.
It's
started
getting
with
there,
cars.
man.
It started with cars, in-house cars. Respect.
Right.
BMW used to be the prevalent model over there, but not and Volkswagen. But now, electrical cars and home built, and now aircraft. What else?
Yeah. They're doing their train.
Yeah.
So they have two trains. They have Train Maya, and then they also have what's it called? I forgot the other one that they have that they're building, but it's two trains. And then I think what was it? Oh, but this is train related, but not country related. As far as like Mexico is concerned, but recently the company Canadian Pacific, which is a railroad company, I think made a bid or bought up
Placed an order.
No, they bought out another company which is located down in the south of the United States. So essentially what's happening is that this one railroad company, and it's not the only one, but it's one of note now even more, that they'll have a track or tracks that will lead from or start from Canada, run through the United States and end up in Mexico. And that's very big news for people that obviously like this company as a company they want to buy stock in, but also good for people that have companies or businesses that want to ship stuff from one of these three countries, because now that you're able to do it.
There's another competitor in the market.
Yes.
Of transportation. Good.
Which is great because,
Yeah.
like, as an example, say we were a company that, handled tin or handled copper pipes or something, and we needed to get it down all the way to Louisiana, or we need to get it to Atlanta, or we need to get it down to Mexico, right? We're able to do it through this train company. And I don't know how expensive or inexpensive it is, but options are great, and you're able to actually do it at this company. So, kudos to these people. Hopefully everything works out for them well. So I think that's exciting news. And on the heels of, Mexico, innovating and getting themselves situated to be more functional and operational on the world stage, that's always a good thing.
You know what this tells me?
What does it tell you,
on the
Mark?
train part?
Okay.
There's a demand, and the demand is the companies are responding to a demand, and
Right.
they're enabling other services, or they're going to enable other services to flourish and grow, just
Yes.
because of their presence being there.
Yes.
Let's say there was already one train company, and that was there, and they were hiking up prices. They were controlling the market, if you will. But thanks to this, there's a competitor, and price is lower, more people can send their services farther within that trail line, or this trail line enables them to as a stepping stone to other markets and let them grow even farther.
Right.
So this is just an indicator. As an indicator of the general market is healthy, it's growing. There's a demand, and I like it.
So do I. I think it's a good look.
And the one with Mexico, it leveled up. It used to produce an external. It still does probably a BMW line and the Volkswagen line, but now it has in its electrical smart vehicles, electrical vehicles in house.
EVs, right, EVs. Right.
And now it has also its aeronautical department checked off too. It could provide services nationally, internationally. So there's like a smaller set, like, I want to buy a jet to fly to these islands in the Caribbean. Should I go for a big private jet, or can I go with a with a turboprop that's in Mexico? I can still buy fuel is expensive, so obviously there's already jets here in Europe, but this one's right next to me. I don't have to go all the way to the US, probably, depending maybe some South American countries, because right now there's in those areas the big thing in the aerospace department is turboprops, not jet engines. In all of Central and South America, unless you're running commercial big big carriers for different services like DHL or FedEx, something like that, you're gonna want big aircrafts. But generally right now, even for transport of private jets, you can just jump the jet and have a turboprop and be more, not cheaper, less expensive, because cheaper means like lack of quality. Let me just clarify. These designs of turboprops are better than they used to be before. They're implementing new material sciences and new technologies which make them less expensive to run, to be more cheap to maintain. The logistical line of maintenance of refueling is a big thing. Look what's going on over here in the US or globally. There's a fuel shortage in aircraft fuel, and they're having to control themselves. So having a turboprop, which is even less expensive and more feasible, even for the rich, best bet, rich people that are smart will try to find a way to even save money and still not sacrifice quality. So what I'm getting to is that this company is checking a box and entering a new market that bodes well for the country itself, that could incentivize other aircraft production companies to start off in Mexico, start off in other places that, give competition, give rise on subcategories of aeronautical stuff, if you will. Makes me happy. That's my TED Talk. So what about let's go for another thing. That's one. Let's go for what's another one? What do you want to talk about, Alan? Another one in the text messages, Alan?
Yes, sir.
Let's see. What do you want to talk about? Oh, I shared in the conversation the thing about the thing with the dimensions and the thing with the line. But let's go before that. Oh, let's talk about whatchamacallit? The McDonald's one, the new Russian McDonald's. For a while now, as everybody knows, there's a lot of things going on with Russia, right? Specifically in a market sense, with McDonald's, they had to sell off their physical locations in that country. Another company, a national company, bought it, and they had some big shoes to fill, right? McDonald's been there for 20 plus years already, and just the logistics chain to supply themselves with chips with salt for that said chips, with buns, with meat,
yo.
with that meaty goodness on the hamburgers, with the sauce. What else? The branding. Let's not forget about the branding. What's the name of this new company over there in Russia, Alan?
I have no idea. Yeah, I can't pronounce that.
Let's just call it McDonald's. No, it's a disservice. So we'll share it in the link notes. I honestly can't pronounce that name. So, and I don't want to disrespect the name. So, anyways, point of the matter is this YouTuber in Russia made a review on the product, like a food reviewer,
right? Like a first impression type of thing. First in Russia, and this individual went in, placed an order, and just had a little mukbang in a park somewhere. And what do you think, Alan, about this video? What he said? I think he assessed it well. I mean, he went through the motions of explaining what's going on, why it happened, and essentially he's just buying stuff from the store, from that restaurant, to show us how different it really is. And he just basically summarized how certain things were either changed or hidden, or even like into a certain degree just grabbed a marker and kind of like crossed off what they needed to cross off. And some of the packaging is a little different as far as like, I don't know. Well, I think he mentioned the packaging of like the burger, how it's wrapped in some sort of like wax paper or something like that, in order for you to like hold on to it while you eat. But other than that, he's like, the portions are basically the same. There might be a little bit of tweaking with certain either flavor profiles, or maybe the quantity of different things you can order. Oh yeah, he mentioned about how the salt, but again, he also inferred that it could just be that what's it called, one of the person that was making the food just didn't add a lot of salt to the actual batch of French fries, so that might be the difference, right? But he said everything else is pretty much the same, and to him it was pretty tasty, which is that makes sense. But he didn't really go through too much political BS, so he just
that wasn't
kept
the point of that video.
Yeah, he just wanted us, the viewers, to see what's going on and see the change, and how I guess the solution was brought before the people, and they were able to, for some they were able to go back to a job. Yeah, it was packed, bro. There was a lot of people there that wanted to eat, and again, that's always a good look.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, sir.
What else? Let's go with another anime headline. That there's a Kickstarter equivalent of Patreon for the launch of High School DxD.
Really?
So they're saying that the company that developed the anime for High School DxD is using social media to announce that they're, for a while already, I don't know if that was their social media itself, that they stopped
They're looking
publishing
for
the manga.
backers.
Yeah, but as another side news with it, they also stopped running the manga, and they just kept the light novel, which is like, whoa, it really just caught my attention. That like, why? Well, there's a lot of things to think about when you're running a product like High School DxD, the brand, the genre that they're in. It's a competitive one, and there's bills to pay on just the logistics to develop this product. And in the past, and they were able to sell products made that, and the backers or the people that flipped the bill would get paid by selling Blu-rays and DVDs. The incentive for customers to buy that product was other services that are no longer there because of streaming directly. Was it directly streaming, or because of the logistics restraints that we live in right now?
For High School DxD, I think it was more about how I don't even know if it's
They didn't broach that, right?
Yeah, they didn't explain who. Well, maybe I just didn't pay very close attention. Probably what the issue was. But the point being that one of or it might have been the creator of High School DxD basically kind of letting people know that they needed people to like to buy more volumes in order for that to be the evidence that people want another season of it. So it makes sense. I think the breakdown of how how the sales of
the
like
manga
the manga or the light novel sells basically equates to people being able, or the companies being able to
sustain sustainability,
to make it into a reality basically.
So I'll share the link of this video for all you listeners, and if you want to, the description will be there. Did it have a link directly, or should I just share the video for them? I'll do some research.
Yeah, definitely do, because I think he left a link there for people that wanted to figure out or see something that he was privy to. But again, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, his profile, I think you can share it with
I'll
people.
link it there. I feel like this merits its own the video itself, because this guy did a good video. I appreciate it, but also the link for the Patreon or Kickstarter, whatever they're doing. The other thing that I wanted to say is that since they're going to be using Kickstarter, it's going to be an international company that's going to be bringing in their revenue. What I would like to have within that Kickstarter is, a monthly or quarterly revenue report. Just as I guess my age, that logistics entertains me. I wouldn't know where my money's going, if you will. What do you think?
I think I would also I would definitely be down for a next season of High School DxD. What got me thinking right now was the fact that the creator is basically letting its fan base know that in order for them to make another season, they would need to buy some more light novels or whatnot. And I guess that's logical. That makes sense.
That's his bread and butter. That's right, where he gets the most.
Exactly. But what I see the issue here being more than anything else is the fact that they have to kind of like abide by certain limitations, right? In order for them to actually, get that series on the road.
And not only that one, it's sustaining other ones too.
Yeah, right. So because of its popularity, I think it was mentioned that I forgot the name of the actual company.
Other shows. Yeah, let's just say other shows.
Well, no, but the company, because basically the company that's kind of like dictating on how the money gets distributed to shows that maybe aren't the best or well known or even entertaining,
They give them a chance to grow.
Yeah, they basically give them a chance to grow, where if it grows and it gets popular enough, maybe they'll consider it, or hopefully they consider it to be an anime or adapted to an anime. But for the most part, series like High School DxD and maybe even like to a lesser extent or equivalent extent more than anything else, Data Live might be one of many titles that the company usually rocks with
and sustains, publishes.
Right, and the more popular the more popular series that are light novels usually tend to essentially help financially other series that aren't monetarily feasible to be made into anything except maybe just digital downloads. But they're given a shot by the amount of money that's produced by High School DxD IP for. I forgot the name of the company. Something.
It'll be in the video.
Yes, thank you, Marcus.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
So yeah, I think that's essentially something that we're gonna see, and hopefully, if I get the opportunity to talk to someone that has a little bit more insight, that would be awesome. Maybe we can have them on the show.
Imagine we supported with the company credit card, as a tax write-off.
Well, again, that would be awesome because they want a show, they want to produce a show, and I'm like,
$1,000 to
sure, let's
Patreon. And for high school DxD, it's for culture. I'm sustaining an economy.
Right. Specifically, that's what you're doing. But yeah, I mean, I think that at some point there will be an announcement.
Over 10K on Blu-rays and DVDs.
That's true.
Yeah,
I've never bought a DVD or a Blu-ray of High School Dixie. I've always
Your Honor, I swear.
Nah, I plead the fifth. I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, again,
please speak to my lawyer about this. No.
I mean,
your lawyer is Comey.
Comey wouldn't say a word.
Just swimming, and you just look at her. No.
But I think at some point it's gonna get announced, whether it be this year or next year. Hopefully, it gets announced sooner than later. But that kind of level of wow, this
dependence, no, market share, if you will.
Yeah, market share and others depending on this actual series. I
just want to say, I felt like popular. I called it. Remember back in the day?
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's even in in one of the podcast recordings.
I don't remember what you said exactly, but can you refresh my memory?
I was saying, like, why don't they launch like a Patreon or something so that they don't have, be more open themselves to another, fan base that can directly fund them, because they do have they had already the DVDs, the figurines, the body pillows, the cosplay, all those things, or the costumes. Now also, let your fans vote with their wallets directly to you to create more stuff. Looks like somebody was listening. Yeah, right. Like, oh, you say I yes, nah, yes, okay, a Patreon, you say.
Yeah, because I believe that what they were mentioning is that for the long time, being able to make these type of series into animes, like it took like more than one company to put their heads together to make it viable, not only inside the country of Japan, but also I'm imagining to countries outside the what's it called, outside Japan.
Yeah, it has to. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they've come up with some sort of strategy where they're able to position themselves in such a favorable way and manner that they're able to not only make money for themselves, but also cover the tab on other IPs that aren't doing as well.
It's not Wit Studios, right? This is totally different, right?
Yeah, this is a different matter from Wit Studio. Wit Studio has a different situation going on that might seem very similar, but they're different. Yeah, exactly.
One is an IP coming up front, and the other one is the studio. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm sorry, bro.
No, you're good. You're good. Wit Studio is basically a production company where it has a lot of IPs, versus the creator of High School DxD, the IP itself is saying, yo, give me, OnlyFans, man. OnlyFans. Come on. I'm telling you, it's a whole new world.
All these squares make a circle.
Yes. But I'm just saying,
yes.
I'm just telling you that there's just a whole new portfolio branch that they can go into, and this could liberate them and at the same time give them new shackles, if you will, to work within. but this is me just spitballing here. Okay. So don't take it as gospel, okay, you listeners? You hear?
Yeah, here.
So I think I want to call it there. What do you think, Alan?
That sounds like a plan to me, bro.
Thank you, dear listeners, for joining us on this episode of Out of Office.
Yeah,
My name is
basically.
Marcos.
My name is Alan.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube, wherever you listen to this recording, man, or lady, listener, you know, people's
family, team,
listen
squad.
to the sound of my voice. Ooh, that's like an Ace Ventura one. I don't know if you guys saw that one, the Pet Detective.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways,
Yes,
follow
sir.
us on Instagram. The links will be in the description. And this is Marcos, and I'm out.
Peace.